All right. Looks like we might be live. All right. What up, everybody? How we doing?
What up?
What up? All right. Well, welcome. Whoever's around. um, let me see here. Let me. Oh, there we go. I gotta get the link to the place. Hang on. Oh, we're figuring this out.
Bring something different. Really good vocalist.
I like these guys. They got final in. Well, we'll talk about it.
Oh, there we go.
Stick it in the fucking cake.
All right. Well, welcome, everybody. Are you talking?
You're talking.
Okay, shit. I thought we couldn't hear you, and that was going to be a problem. But yeah, welcome to the DJing podcast, yo. Talk about music with a bunch of degenerates, and maybe not drink at all, definitely.
For those of you who have been around for a while, for the past 10 years, we were formerly known as the Four Dudes Jerking Each Other Off Official Podcast USA.
USA. All right. Well, welcome. What do we do here? We bring tunes and we talk about them and try to learn something, try to have a good time. That's about that. What? Hello? A little louder.
Can you hear me?
A little bit. It's pretty quiet.
Dime the fucking game.
That's too much. Back off.
Yeah.
It'll distort.
No, that seemed
Is that better?
a little more.
Okay. Yeah. Keep just
I'm
up.
telling you.
That's good.
Like,
It's a dynamic mic, so.
That's solid.
Is that better?
Yeah.
All right. Oh yeah, I said yesterday he was saying that he didn't get excited for anything, but he gets excited every time.
Oh, yeah, you do. I've never seen so much excitement about dudes jerking each other off.
former podcast.
Former, yes, but yeah, we don't do that anymore. Only metaphorically. We each bring a tune and we all talk. We listen to it and we talk about it, pick it apart, learn some things, have some fun. That's kind of what we've always done. We've fucking since forever just kind of gotten together and put on jams and talk about them. Like maybe we're drunk, maybe we're not, maybe it's 4 a.m, but you know whatever. That's what we do. My name's Nick, aka Nectar. I DJ, I produce, and I'm trying to learn more about music to be better at it. Ian, what's your deal?
Hi, I'm Ian. I am in a project with Nathan, who is to my left. I sing. I'm mostly a singer, but I also play guitar, a little bit of piano, some bass, and have worked in recording studios. So I've got a little bit of a background as a mixing and tracking engineer. I think I'm about halfway in between Nick and Nathan as far as musical knowledge.
I would say that, yeah.
I don't know who I am. I don't know any of you fucking people.
All right, well, there we go. Let's fucking dive into it, I guess.
Yeah, why don't I kick it off?
We may have some guests joining us later. Who knows? We'll see what happens. We'll do it live. But yeah, go for it, Ian.
Sweet. All right, so this may not be. I'm sharing screen too, right?
Yeah.
All right. So this is a band that I like called Killswitch Engage.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, they kind of got filed in with all of the old metalcore bands, which is like metalcore, for those who don't know, is like kind of a mixture between metal and hardcore.
What is the distinction, but like as far as rock goes, like hardcore rock or like metal or whatever? Like,
well, hardcore is an entirely different like sub.
Oh, okay.
Hardcore is like I'm not the best person to ask about it, honestly. I'm not the biggest fan of hardcore. I think it's cool, but yeah, it's like what most people used to refer to as screamo is
Gotcha.
mostly hardcore and metalcore.
Metal is
hardcore. Metalcore is kind of a hybrid between the two. So you get the low-tuned guitars, the breakdowns, harsh vocals a lot of the times.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I think these dudes are really cool. and they have an insanely awesome vocalist who I'm very excited about. Anything you want to tell us before we kick it off, Nate?
Not really.
All right. And yes, that dude is wearing a cape.
Nice. Nice. I didn't even notice that, but sick.
I want to hear every voice in this place! Are you ready? Everybody on top!
Dude even has a great speaking voice. His name's Howard something. I can't remember his last name.
Everybody down here, come on! Sing me!
Guitars are so tight with one another. They are like dead on. I don't know if you want to talk about
Play that
Nate.
back.
Oh,
Just
really?
a little bit.
They're both like doing these little kind of tapping licks with their left hand. It's like mostly hammer-ons and pull-offs, and it's really hard to get that dead on.
Gotcha.
and they're doing it really well.
Gotcha.
Also, Howard, insane vocalist, both in the harsh and clean vocals. Not the widest range of anybody, but just has like this level of depth to his voice that's pretty awesome.
I want you all to join me! Come on! This distance I cling to memories. It brings relief in all poverty. Come on! I've been without
So this is another thing Nate and I were talking about the other day: the power of a singing band.
Oh yeah, dude.
If you have an entire band that can sing and can harmonize well live, it like you're you're automatically a good band. I think is what you said.
Dog. I mean, fucking. I don't know if there's more depth to it, but you certainly sound like it because like fucking there are bands that'll play at the place I work at now, and like the musicians that like they can play, they're fine. They're not like, I'm not gonna say they're world class, but they're like they're good. They're fucking they're solid musicians. But even when they're stone cold sober at the beginning of a gig, cannot sing for shit. They're just screaming into the mic, and it's like wobbly. It's just never and it's the worst thing in the world, and it makes everything sound like trash. That makes the whole thing fall apart. It's awful.
Yes, singing is a weird thing because there are a lot of people that are naturally talented at it,
Mm-hmm.
but the people that are naturally talented at it have a tendency not to want to like actually put the work in.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's with
So
everything.
I was kind of guilty of that for a long time, but my vocal teacher describes it as when you don't have training, it's like you're trying to hit a moving target.
Mm.
I feel like that's the best way to describe it. Like when you're trained, like you know what notes you're trying to hit, you know the intervals, you know where your trouble areas are, you know
Right.
why they're your trouble areas. So Howard has had vocal lessons, I know, from that Melissa Cross lady. She was like a vocal teacher for a lot of the metalcore bands.
Nice.
And then Howard gave his guitar player some like basic lessons,
Nice.
just in pitch and how to make sure
Mm-hmm.
uh, they're dead on live, and
Yeah.
they are.
No, I mean he has a fucking dope. He has a cool voice. It's different. Like it's, I mean it's right. It's not so different that it's not something similar to things I've heard before, but it's
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
different. Yeah, it's good. It's cool. Yo, what up, Llama? How we doing? How's life over on Twitch? Fuck. Anyway, go for it.
Don't stop now! You know me! You know me! My only desire! Is sorrow! Lies me and my voice mirrors! Mirrors what I am! For comfort, for solace, for my broken heart.
I just want to highlight the dynamic change there, which is cool.
Yeah.
So they were riding that chorus high for a long time.
Yeah.
The energy was really up there, and then right when it was at its highest, they brought it back down.
Yeah. So something that I've 'cause I've always noticed those things. And that's just the genre of music I like. I like because it's very fast and like it's not too angry, but it's fast, it's hard hitting, it's driving, and it's in stark contrast to, in most cases to a very just well, it has good dynamics, like a very kind of calm, feely, soothy, fucking breakdown or verse or something. And something I've noticed that I need to work on and have been working on is like the not just dropping everything into nothing and having no energy carry through. They do a good job of, while it is a huge dynamic change, it's very smooth, and they carry, like, even just with the like arpeggiating the notes there on those chords in the guitar, it really helps carry some energy through and is not just total nothing. But yeah.
I got nothing.
Oh yeah, you're definitely right. A lot of people say metal has no dynamics, and I understand why they say that. But
I mean, that's a lot of people say EDM has no dynamics, and I mean they're like 95% right. There's just times where it's quiet, you know, like. So
This is the biggest.
Oh, snap. For his voice, like, are there, I guess, what effects are on there? Because you can, like, there's some delay or reverb, obviously, but like, Is that just his voice, or does it have like that graininess because of an effect?
That's called glottal compression.
Okay.
And that's something that you can learn to do with your voice.
Yeah.
So there is definitely reverb and delay on there. There might be like a little bit of distortion, like some kind of saturation.
I can see, especially for the genre. I can see that.
Yeah, a lot of times people do that. I kind of think it's cheating, but no, he has that like you say, graininess is probably a good word, even in his clean tones, and that's because he's bringing some of the compression from like his harsh vocals over to the clean.
Gotcha.
And it gives a little bit of dirt is normally how we describe it.
Yeah, I gotcha.
But it's not like full on screaming.
Yeah, sick. I dig that though. I dug that. That was a cool one. Yeah, I've never been a huge fan of screamo, but just like tastefully done, and like I don't know if that's something I'd listen to on my own. It was very selective with that kind of stuff, but that was nice. It was solid.
It's not screamo though.
Yeah, I mean just like the general activity of it. Like I can take very little of it, and that's what like it's not full on screamo, but there is like.
I usually just call it the best all-encompassing word for like music like that is usually just metal.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
I would consider it clean or dirty vocals. And I think, especially when I was younger and an angry metalhead, a lot of heavy music got filed under screamo. But screamo is a very particular genre.
Okay, I didn't know. Yeah, I guess I use it more as an adjective than a noun, you know?
Yeah, screamo is basically pop punk music for scene kids, where a guy is basically blowing his vocals out.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I could be wrong. There might be a great singer in the screamo genre. I don't dig into that. But yeah, there was a bit of an ongoing war between the metal kids and the screamo kids, at least when I was young.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, anyway, Nate, what you got?
I do appreciate just how good the mix is on this live show.
Yeah, it's clean. It's nice.
Yeah. The drums are cut and perfect, and when you're playing with volumes that loud too, well, their sound engineer did a freaking great job.
Yo, I fucking love so something the other night, again, just like last week, I think sometime at the place I'm currently working at, there was like our sound guy is pretty solid. I'm not gonna say like fucking world class sound guy, but he's good. They're good. They can make a room sound solid, whether it's DJ or like live band. Like I see him out there fucking on the iPad, like getting levels and everything, like testing and sound checking and all that. There was one time last week, like fucking this one, just from the get go, the band like had just every on every mic, everyone that was singing, just such washed out, like reverbed out vocals that like you could barely understand it. There was either like too much delay or too much reverb or both, and you could barely understand what they were saying. So I told like my manager who talked to the sound guy, and was like, it's not on, like it's no, they tried to fix it, nothing on their end, and then they like went to intermission and played some like fucking normal songs, and like through the radio or whatever, and it sounded fine. So the sad part about that was like, even though our sound guy was good, that was the band's stylistic choice to just put way too much reverb and delay on, like, so no one could understand them, and everyone behind the bar was just like, what the fuck, like this is awful. And I'm grateful to have sound guys, but like, fuck, sometimes there's just nothing you can do about it.
It could have been a band request too.
Yeah.
A lot of guys don't like hearing themselves completely dry.
Well, yeah.
I make it a big point when I'm practicing to not have any reverb on.
Mm-hmm.
Reverb's probably my least favorite effect. And if there are two things that are going to make a mix muddy, it's reverb and low end.
Oh yeah, fucking love sends though. That like parallel on reverb, like reverb through the send and then EQ that shit, and then like with some side chain and fuck on there. Ooh, it makes reverb fit a lot better into things. Like it's great.
A lot of YouTube guys, a lot of amateurs, or even some scared pros, they will just coat everything in as much reverb. There's so many expensive plugins now for reverbs and just make it bigger.
The more reverb you have, the better it is, obviously. Direct correlation.
It sounds like anymore. yeah, everything's so dispersed.
Yeah.
It's a great way to hide things too. You can play two notes and put enough reverb on it. Some guy that's smoking up weed is gonna think that's the greatest thing he ever heard.
Yep. You're not wrong. I would bet money that I've been that guy before.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Anyway, if nothing else, then Nate, what you got?
Moving on, I think he has a record on the show. We're looking at Mike Patton again, one of my favorite singers.
Is that Mike Patton? Is that the guy? He's in a band.
He's in Faith No More and like
That one.
16 other projects.
Yeah, I almost brought a Faith No More song actually.
He's an incredibly versatile singer. Uses his voice more as an instrument than he does
Yeah.
an actual voice. Now, the thing about this project, Mr. Bungle, is he really took what he was doing vocally to a completely unexplored territory. I think a lot of the times people look at their role in a band and they go, I can only do this one way. I play guitar, therefore I only do guitar things. I sing, therefore I only do vocalist things, and so on and so forth. I'm a bassist, so I'm never going to go over the fifth fret. And it's completely untrue. And what we're going to hear in this short little track, Vanity Fair, is a lot of work with Mike Patton's voice replicating most of a band. And there's still a band in there, but he's eaten up a lot of mix. He's doing some very interesting things. A lot of low end, a lot of percussive stuff. It's doo-wop, but it's not doo-wop. And once again, this man just does not give a shit about his lyrics. So this song, I guess the lyrical content is about really wanting to cut your dick off.
All right, cool. I guess.
Just listen for all the different textures. This is fun.
You're not human, you're a miracle, a creature with an animal. You're sexy, neon smoke screens, like a super salesman of an angel. Even your shadow worships you in your jungle solitude. With the orgies of the sacrament and the seal of flagellants, you know God saves those who say their sting from the bondage that we're in. I'm elated, I can cut you and remove the sheath of your ignorance. The eunuch and the Scotsy, will you?
This is a dense mix.
Yeah. There's a lot going on there.
So much going on, yeah. I'm sure every time I listen to this song, I could hear something new. It's great, and I think it's cool because the melody riding over it is nice. It's actually like a really nice song. It sounds very good and it's very melody driven, but there's all kinds of interesting stuff happening in the background.
For sure.
What is that?
Yeah.
If you dig deep on the Mr. Bungle catalog, the California album is probably the most listenable of them.
Most what?
The most listenable. Because they had a couple, Disco Volante, which translates to violent disco. It's talked about in music theory books. I think there are 200 genres of music that they cover
Damn.
in a 1 hour span.
Damn.
And it's just fucking noise. Like, that's a study. That's something I go to when I just have to purge. And their first album sounds like a really fucked up Red Hot Chili Peppers, but with like 12 other genres built into it too. And this was the early days. There was Faith No More, and at the same time going on was Mr. Bungle. And Mike was really getting into the fact that he could walk into studios now. So if there was a piece of the mix he could wedge himself into, he'd fucking do it. He's a little bit of a crazy guy. I love him. I love his mannerisms. One of my favorite singers. And I love the percussive stuff that he's doing in the low end. I think a lot of people are afraid to do something a little out there, but just going bop, bop, that adds this weird bubbliness to the song.
Yeah.
If this was just a guitar and a guy singing some soul, it would be forgettable.
No, that's I dig that's the bops in particular, bop bop bop, that stuck out to me. But easy to tell, like, oh, there's a guy doing a bunch of stuff with his voice here. Like, let's see what he's doing.
Let's keep going.
Yeah. Now we switch to an organ. I'm sorry.
What was that?
Now we switch to like a synth organ, like just different, just. Oh, okay. Guess so.
It's like a little Parpizza organ or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a demented song. I mean,
Mhm.
it's about cutting your dick off.
Yeah, you wouldn't guess that because I can barely make out the lyrics. I did hear something, remove you from your sheath of ignorance, and then something about a eunuch. And that's all I got.
Well, from my understanding, Mike Patton actually writes his lyrics based on vowel sounds and not on actual having the lyrics work or make sense. Like, he goes through a song and this is pretty common for singers. But when you're writing a melody line, you don't necessarily want to put words into it. You're just like, what vowel sounds right?
Yeah, I get you.
In this moment, and then kind of work backwards from there.
That's clever. I never never thought about it as fully in that way as you have just now.
Yeah, I mean, lyrics are great. I think it's like cool to put a lot of effort into lyrics and make them poetic and stuff. But they also need, if they don't fit the song, then I guess you can argue that even if they don't fit, making them fit can give you an artistic advantage. Because I'm thinking about Rush and how like Geddy Lee was just like, bro, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this?
Fucking make it work. That's what.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, let's get back to the dark tinge of fucked upness in what is
Mr. Bunker.
otherwise a pretty jaunty tune.
Now I made it.
That the fake string. I'm asking Nathan a question. I'm asking him if the interval between where his the melody and that string sound is. It sounds very dissonant to me, and I'm wondering if it's like a major seven.
The vocal melody.
The vocal melody and the
string.
string underneath it.
I got you.
It's
I mean,
just pulling one note.
there's a lot of tension in it. Like, you can a lot of the harmonies are sound pretty pushing the edge of dissonant, or pushing the edge of consonant.
Mr. Bungle was all about pushing the edge. But let's see what Ian's talking about. Just pinpoint it for me when we get to it.
I think it should be really.
That's not dissonance.
No?
That's the most useless interval there is. It's the fifth.
Wait, what?
And,
Which
the keyboard
sound?
is- it's that high
That-
organ sound at the top.
That one?
Yeah.
The kind of
And-
held out. Yeah.
he's laying on this note. Normally everything would sound fine if that was a bass note.
Yeah.
But when you're laying on a note like that, it's way up in the stratosphere, like high range.
Mhm.
Everything beneath it kind of clashes with it because
Oh,
it's
that's
this
cool.
ear-piercing shit that's
Yeah.
going on. So even though it's completely consonant what he's doing, it gives this
Interesting.
feeling of just unease.
That's awesome.
Interesting.
I'm stealing that.
That's cool.
And another cool thing it does, it thins out the mix. So it's just Mike Patton and this,
Yeah.
the screech and then some electronic noises.
Yeah.
I guess this is supposed to represent like laying on the surgery table
Like,
about to kick off.
yeah. Although I do respect the like static and kind of scratching like stuff in the middle there, like the electronic stuff.
It's a flat line on itself.
Oh,
Yeah. The experimentation, a lot of those weird noises too. I think people don't know this about Mike Patton. If you see him live or live footage of him outside of bands that are guitar centric, he's got like 16 keyboards in front of him and all of these circuit bent like
mics.
boxes. Yeah, 5 mics in a project called Tomahawk. He put tiny microphones inside of a gas mask because it just sounded bad on purpose. Yeah, the guy's a freak. And circuit bending is basically taking something that should make a pleasant noise and cutting off electrical feeds to certain points, so it just basically makes horrible static noise.
Sick.
That's his shit. So he's as
Is he
much
like Brian Eno?
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's as much a sound designer as he is a singer, which is really strange.
I should bring silence.
Let's ride this track out. We're
Hell
at
yeah.
the big climax. And I love at the very end, just to build some tension, he doesn't mind sticking some distortion on his voice during the really bitey portion near the end.
All right, let's do it.
Phrase.
Now I made it. I'm finally naked. I'm finally naked. Yeah, I made it.
All right.
Yeah, I made it. I'm finally naked.
Living the
Thanks, Mike
dream.
Patton.
Living the dream. Yeah, that was into, like you said, doo-wop, and it like instantly kind of like hopped right into that like nice kind of 50s diner vibe, but like you know, modern rock influences.
It's guys like Mike Patton that prove to me the statement that all music that can be written has already been written is completely fucking false. That goes beyond just blending genres. That's taking everything you find and throwing it into something.
Just doing
And it exists for its own sake, not for a genre, not for an audience. Though Mr. Bungle did pack quite a few venues in their day. It's simply the most creative, original thing I think I've ever listened to.
I get that. Fuck.
Yeah, I really look up to Mike Patton as like a singer that does more with his voice than most singers do. It's something that like before I got into Faith No More and Mike Patton, I hadn't really thought of. I was always just in pursuit of like increasing my range, higher and lower, making the timbre of my voice better, and working on that way. But I have never really thought about it. Haven't ever really thought about how can I use this outside of its traditional means. And I know they have all kinds of crazy plugins now that you can use that like turn your voice into MIDI and other things like that. And I think that there are going to be some really interesting things happening soon if they're not already.
Fuck yeah. I always is.
Or we'll get more singer-songwriters.
Both.
Is that good or bad?
Gotta have both. Gotta have both. Fire and ice.
Fire and ice. All right. So, moving on. What we've got here is...
Oh, look at it.
Look at it.
Let the boy watch.
Sorry, I have this fucking like stretched out Jack Black face just staring into my soul.
I forgot that yes. That's what
Yeah,
y'all
he
see
doesn't-
on your end.
He doesn't just do it for the show. That's actually his background.
Oh, I believe that. Never. No, I'm gonna stop. So another Darren Styles song. This one is one. It's cool to me because for ages, he would. It's one of the first songs that made me. It gave me a deeper understanding of how how DJs work and operate and perform and all that. Because I didn't realize for a while, but at some point this got a release, and I know I'd heard it before, and even people were like, "This is finally we're so happy that he finally released this song." So it was a big eye-opening moment for me to be like, "Oh, people will fucking just have things they play because they're dope and people love it, but just they're not a full song yet, or they're not a totally done song, and things like that." And I don't know, I just never thought of it before. So I don't know how long, but for a very long time, he would only play this in sets, or give it to, send it to people, people he liked that were allowed to play it in sets and things, but it never got a full release. And then I guess sometime in 2019, finally completed the song and released it, and this is it. So yeah, here we go.
Tell me I like me, tell me you're feeling me. Come over, why don't you sit over here? You're making me quiver. I see you watching my figure. I know you want this, no you don't need a big skirt. Come over, why don't you play with my hair? You're making me quiver. I see you watching my figure. Why don't you like that? Tell me you're feeling me. Why don't you come over?
So my first interpretation of this one is that to me it almost sounds too robotic. The notes sound like they're on a grid, and I know that they are. They're perfectly aligned. But I don't know why, but that's just really bugging me out.
There's zero portamento on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A stylistic choice. I also like that when he re-resolves the chord progression, he's just hanging onto a note from the previous bar. I don't know if that was intentionally to fuck with people or not, but it is an interesting choice.
Yeah, I'm not even noticing that stuff. I like the vocals. I've always liked the vocals. The vocals are cool. Just the airiness, the moodiness. I get that, the totally locked in vocals and roboticness of it. If you're not used to that or not looking for that, can be off-putting. But not that big a deal for me. I just always thought it sounded like Rihanna. I'm like, dog, this guy got Rihanna, and that's cool. But something I'm noticing for the first time is the hi-hats and drums, or almost like a wood block sound, just a click, and some really faint snaps in the background. And I never noticed I never fully realized the rhythm of that, and it's just interesting, kind of nice little, not just straight fours, or at least not just a hat on every fucking beat or a hat on every other beat or something like that. And it's nice.
Why don't you come over here? I won't wait around, I'll be waiting for you. Don't play around, I'm nobody's fool. Tell me I like me, tell me you're feeling me. Come over, no you don't need to be afraid. You're making me quiver. I see you watching my figure. When are you like that? Tell me you're feeling me. Why don't you come over here? I won't wait around, not waiting for you. Don't play around, I'm nobody's fool. Tell me you like me, tell me you're feeling me. Come over, no you don't need to be afraid. You're making me quiver. I see you watching my figure. I'm gonna make you my baby. I'll take you home, I'll drive you crazy. I'm gonna make you my baby. I want you more than ever. I'm gonna make you my baby. I'll take you home, I'll drive you crazy. I'm gonna make you my baby. I want you more than ever.
So that's that. It's interesting. Like, the more we do this, and like I realize more and more that like a lot of the songs I like seem to be for like they're rather boring just on their own, but for a particular moment in a set, they're really fucking good. And like, it's interesting to realize that distinction.
No, it makes sense. I mean, I don't think they're all boring. But it's like I know exactly what you're saying. I think about it like in the context of an album. Like a song can have a different impact after you've heard, like depending on the song that you heard after it and before it.
Yeah.
And to me, it can really alter like the way a song feels depending on where it is.
Oh, for sure.
Or on
I think that's part of like what I guess what I'm saying, why I'm noticing it is like coming from songs that a lot of times you guys bring that are good standalone songs, like on their own, and even like songs that I've written that I've tried to make good standalone things don't always sound good. Like it's hard to fit them into a set somewhere because like they're more meant to be taken by themselves or something like that. Or like songs that you guys have, like even from Mr. Bungle, it's a great standalone song. Like on its own, it's very complex. There's a lot to say about it. Like there's so much to find in that. This like, there's not a whole lot to find in it. But like at the right moment in a set, it's fucking everything. Like it is like mind changing and mind breaking, whatever, mind blowing.
I don't necessarily think that like you always need to have songs that there's like stuff to find in them.
Yeah.
Say the Killswitch song that I had, or that I brought, like, it's two guitar players and a bass player. I mean, there's not a whole lot of depth there.
Yeah.
Maybe they have like vocal harmonies and try to add little things here and there. But yeah, I think things that are upfront can be really good too. It's like cooking with simple ingredients. Just like as long as you make sure that the ingredients you have are good.
Yeah.
And you know how to cook whatever you're trying to cook, then you can still have a great meal.
Yeah. No, and that's what like it's I think I'm not trying to come from a place where like make it seem like I'm saying it's like it's bad or whatever. It's just different. Like and compared like it's compared to again the songs we just listened to, it's plainer. Like there's not as much to say about it. It's simple, and that's the nature of the genre. Is like it's meant to be something that's fairly simple and you can just fucking feel and jam to, you know. It's interesting.
Interesting. So it sounds like you were saying like a lot of the music that you like is about like how it feels during a set as opposed to like what the actual content music is?
I think a significant portion. I would say a significant portion of it. 'Cause, I mean, it's meant to be experienced in a very particular setting. Like it's not. It's
Yeah,
just not the
I don't think
same.
there's anything. I mean, that's totally cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
That's. I mean, yeah, and that's like it's. Fuck. I had a continuation of thought, but it's gone.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. But like some of it is, some of it isn't, and that's not. Oh, so like it's not even to say that. It's some of it isn't complex and some of it isn't. It's just like it's. Yeah, there are songs that, like I said, this was played as a piece of a set for ages before it was released as a song, and I think because of that, like it has that history and people love it for that and for the moments that they know it from and things like that. So it's cool when you go back and listen to it, but
So
hearing it.
If you're saying there's like the context.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's a lot of EDM is like the context of it. It's not meant to be like it's meant to be. I was just thinking this as we were listening to like this doing this podcast. It's like it's not obviously all music is meant to be felt on to some degree on some level. Like that's the whole point. But I think EDM to a significant degree is on the further end, like the more extreme end of that, where it's about what you feel whenever you hear it in front of fucking stacks and stacks and stacks of speakers, and like the epitome of like a EDM, like with the visuals, the lasers, the smoke, fucking stacks of speakers, and it fucking hits you in the chest and it feels like someone punched you. Like,
yeah,
I mean rock too. Like
somebody did a research project on how music festivals have almost replaced, or a lot of people have like taken music festivals and contextualize them as rituals.
Yeah.
Because like the whole concept of ritual has been around since the dawn of humanity. And there's, like you say, there's something, and most ritual music is just like droney, and it's like big thumping drums that, like,
yeah.
you can feel. And I guess I see some similarities there between like even bands like Wardruna and stuff like that to what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I never thought of it that way, but that's an interesting context. That's an interesting way to frame it. And that's really, I like that. That's cool. Cause like, so with rock, it's not that or like the metal, like with Killswitch Engage there, like it's not that it's not meant to be enjoyed most that way, but it certainly has more, is more likely to be able to stand on its own as a song than like something like this. Whereas it's not that it's bad, it's just like, okay, there it is. But like whenever you like like when you say it as a ritual, like it's definitely something you go to do that kind of, frame it as like a transcendent dance type of thing. Like, I mean, that's what the ritual was, and like to kind of transcend and be, I don't know, feel something else or be somewhere else or something that takes you to a very particular state, we'll say. It's interesting.
Yeah, sure. I think it's cool.
It's a whole body experience rather than like,
Yeah, so it sounds like it's like not just a musical experience, but like music is a piece of the experience.
Oh yeah, totally. And I mean that's what actually something I'm like shifting on, like my goals is like, so end goal up until, I mean still is goal but not so much end goal anymore. It's like headline EDC in Vegas. That's fucking end goal for the longest time. And it's kind of not morphing, but like extending further than that is like I've realized it's not just I want to be someone that turns out songs and whatnot, but like what I like about festivals and like EDC and a proper EDM concert is that it's an entire experience, and like it's something that I'm so like enveloped in and enthralled in and whatever, it just is, I'm so present in. It's like I'm nowhere else, and it makes me fucking lose my mind, and it's like it's in the best way, and like total enjoyment. And like that's more of what I want to do, is like create a whole experience of that for people rather than just, I mean, that's like, write songs.
That's like a gig. That's like you can do that for a living. There are people that like help artists put together stage shows.
Yeah.
Lights and.
Yeah, and that's what like I want to be an artist. I want to go like the Dead Mouse route, where like you're familiar enough that you want to like, you know how to put together your own thing.
Sure.
Yeah, that's cool. But yeah, that's like it. I think that's the epitome of EDM nowadays, is whenever you can create a very specific experience that you can take around and give people. And I mean, that was like fucking hair metal at its day, at its height. It was like, we have this whole fucking extravaganza experience that we got to pack up into trucks and buses and transport to the next place and set up there. Like,
rocket metal in general. I heard that there's like this opera teacher that I like that like watches YouTube videos and like responds or reacts to them, I guess. Instead.
yeah.
And she's like, metal is basically just like a stage show, like a Broadway or an opera
Yes.
stage show with like rock guitar
Yeah.
or with heavy guitar.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra, bro.
The
Yeah.
vocal acrobat lady.
No, I think her name is, her channel name is The Charismatic Voice.
Oh.
She's like, she's pretty cool.
Alright.
Cool.
Well, fuck.
That was
Yeah.
a fun one.
Yeah. This is I like had a moment here at the end, just like diving into. I've been doing that a little bit more, like recently, just kind of thinking about what I'm doing next, where I'm going next. It's nice.
Yeah.
Like what I'm shooting for next. So.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, because I had a moment where I really sat down and was like, you know, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? And am I on? Are the things that I'm doing putting me on, and the habits that I'm building putting me on the trajectory to get where I want to go?
Fucking that shit.
I think it's an important thing to talk about, like the philosophy of music and like why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah, and I mean that's what, like, it's easy to get into this and be like, I like music and I want to make songs and write music, and because I like music and stuff. But like, there's so many slightly different paths you can take with that. Like, it's not just that.
Exactly. Yeah. Music is like the big umbrella,
Mhm.
but finding how you want to
Do that.
develop yourself is another
Fuck yeah.
piece. It's the boy.
All right. Anyway, what up, y'all? I guess that's it for the evening. That's it. What? Anyone have a good outro song or anything? Real quick.
Yeah, I was struggling to think of one to bring.
Alright, fuck it.
So I'll leave it up to you.
I gotta fucking cut it anyway. Like, I want to eat some food and get going to work. So let's just fucking cut it. It's been real, y'all. Thanks for joining us, your favorite DJs, and talk about some music. Anyone that has, thanks for watching. Lots of love.
On the podcast formerly known as the Four Dudes Jerking Each Other Off official podcast USA.
Oh yeah, it's been real, y'all. We'll catch you next
I'm
week.
looking for a UK division. Contact us when you're ready.
Yeah, fucking. We'll catch you next time. Peace, y'all. See ya.